So now we are going to take a fictitious example, a fictitious character, and work through and talk about the three layers that comprise of the ego. What are the three layers of defense that the human ego works with in order to protect itself, in order to protect the human being. Yeah, three layers in which you can see it is: the first level is the level of form, the actions that you're taking, the behaviors. That's the outermost level. The second level is the mental defense. It's the mental formation. It is how you think. It is the kind of thoughts that are being thought in order to propel these activities, in order to justify the actions, the behavior, the habits that a person is taking. And underlying all this, the last layer is the unresolved emotion. It is this unresolved emotion and an overcompensation of that emotion. The need to not feel that emotion is what causes the thought patterns and then eventually the actions, behaviors and habits. To further explain these three layers, I'm going to take the example of Barney Stinson from How I Met Your Mother. I'm not sure if you are aware of him. So he is basically in his mid-20s, 30s, a womanizer, good looking person. He has a successful job, a good set of friends. And so now let's talk about his first layer. The first layer is the actions that he takes. He takes great pride in sleeping with women. It is his almost like a life mission. He has to sleep with women. He goes around, he parties, he really takes pride in the work in his office. He's like, at some big level. And yeah, this is his behavior, this is his identity, and it's all great. On the surface, he almost every other day he is sleeping with a new woman, beautiful woman, and yeah, this is just how it is. On the surface, if you see him, he seems to be a very successful and happy person who has it all. If you see him, you will almost be envious of the life that he is living. So these are the things that he is on the surface. Now we go to the next layer, which is the mental formation. What is this person telling himself? I am awesome. If I feel sad, I stop feeling sad and I be awesome instead. I am legendary. I have slept with, if you have slept with 100 women, I am slept with 200 women. I make so much money. I have my suits. I love my suits. I love this. I love that. I'm the best. I'm this. I'm that. And these are the kind of thoughts that his mind is generating to justify the actions. It is propelling him to behave and act in a certain way, which is to be a womanizer. So this is his psyche. This is the things that he is thinking. This is the thing that the mind is telling him, and he is simply acting out these thoughts that his mind is telling him. So that is number 2, the layer number 2, which is the thought layer, which is the illusion layer. And now comes the third layer, which is the underlying emotion that he has covered up with this fictitious story. This third layer is the reality. The fact of the matter is, he is extremely hurt and he has a sense of unworthiness lingering in him. Why? Because he was abandoned by one of his parents, his father, when he was a child. So it is this, understand that before the age of 10-12, your subconscious mind is the only thing that you have. Your analytical facilities have not been developed. So everything that you are experiencing, there is no logical reasoning behind it. So if he has felt a sense of unworthiness during that period, a sense of abandonment, then that is the emotion that is second nature to him now. That is that emotion which is the subconscious mind now, which is propelling his thought processes and which is eventually coming out into the external world in the form of the way in which he is acting out. And understand that it is this sense of abandonment that he fears the most. And the human ego, in this case his ego, is formed as a way to not feel this emotion. And that is why it is easy to be who you never want to be, locked up inside your own life. How can someone abandon you if you abandon them first? Isn't that the ultimate defense mechanism? You simply become something that you were so afraid of. You were so afraid of being abandoned that you started abandoning others before they abandoned you. And that is such a that is so sad, that is so painful, and that is that is simply, there is just such an immense amount of suffering that is unwarranted, and you can almost empathize and feel a sense of compassion towards him. Understand that at the center of it all, no one is guilty, no one is bad. It is just the conditioning and the experience that we have over the course of life that condition us. Underlying all of this, even Barney or you or me, we are the consciousness, the unconditioned consciousness that entered into this world to experience the world. And due to circumstances, due to the challenging nature of life here on earth, you experience these emotions, and it is the failure to express or emote these emotions out is what initiates the formation of the human ego, which is a way to cover up that hurt, to make sure that you don't feel that hurt, and then you end up overcompensating for it and simply becoming the person that you were most afraid of, the thing that feared you the most. And that is what we call karma. You become unfortunately something that you were not, that you never wanted to be. It is the cyclical nature, and that is how people get fixed or get trapped in this vicious circle of karma. So understand the three layers that it is working on. Now we go from the top to the down. The underlying one that began this whole process is the trauma, the emotional hurt that was experienced usually in the childhood period or over the course of time. Now, as a way to not emote this out, or to protect the human from this pain, this fear, the thoughts are created. Initially the thoughts are about this kind of mirroring these kind of emotions, but eventually, once those kind of thoughts have been laid in the foundation, the next layer is the coping up mechanism, the overcompensation. You start telling yourself a story in which you think you are so far away from it that you are not it. But the fact is, when you think you are so far away from it, you are it. That's why you cannot see it. You are the body and mind of abandonment. That is why you cannot see abandonment around you, because you have become that. And then we come to the last layer, in which you act in that matter. You behave in that certain manner. In this case, Barney abandons the woman that he interacts with before there is a chance for them to abandon him and remind him of the hurt that he faced as a child. And that is how the human ego works. That is how powerful the defense mechanism is. Everything that you have experienced is formulating into this fictitious sense of self. So understand that on a fundamental level, on the most foundational level, no one is guilty. In this case, Barney is also not guilty, but it is his unconsciousness that causes suffering to the people around him. It was the unconsciousness of his father that got passed on to him, and he ended up acting in this way. So if you have also been hurt in the past, I take responsibility for the unconsciousness of those who wronged you, and I apologize to you on their behalf. Understand that responsibility means the ability to respond. I am responsible for the society, and the society is responsible for me. We are all intertwined in this way. So please don't take it personally. Please let this awaken you a little bit from the voice in your head. Let there be a little bit of distance between you and your ego. Once that a basic understanding comes into you, It is the beginning of the end of the human ego. You can start dissolving the ego because you have accepted the fact that the voice in your head is not you. It is just a part of you. It is a defense mechanism. Say your sense of identity derived from being the smartest person in the room. So if a person that is smarter than you, if you are not the smartest person in the room, your identity will be threatened, your ego will be threatened, and it will cause you to act out. You will have a sense of envy towards the person that is smarter towards you, and it will cause you to inflate yourself in some way or form. In some way it will propel you because it wants to be an important. And now understand that the level of identification and the intensity of the ego, it varies from person to person. Maybe you are not as identified, maybe your ego is not as strong as someone else's, and that is a good sign. In fact, that means that you have not completely identified, and even if you have, there is enough awareness for you to disidentify from it and take actions to dissolve it completely, and then let the presence, the consciousness to flow through you, and then perceive the world without the lenses of the past. This is dissolving the ego, is dissolving the past. So understand that self-awareness is the most difficult form of knowledge. Now, why I have taken the example of this person is because you can see reality in someone else, you can see the patterns in someone else, but it is very difficult to see the patterns in your own selves because you are the pattern. If you are the pattern, it is very difficult to see yourself because you have never seen yourself from the third person. You have always seen the world through your own eyes. So now when you are seeing this person, Barney Stinson, now you can see that, okay, that's why art and movies are so powerful, because it gives you an aerial view of the reality, and then you can see it from a distance. Now it is time that you create that distance within yourself. It is time that you make that journey inward and identify the thought patterns that you have, and identify and feel out the underlying unresolved emotions that are fueling this mental story, this fictitious story that you have created for yourself, which we call the human ego. And understand that the human ego, it is a defense mechanism. It likes to it is keeping you protected from the hurt that you faced. It is trying to protect you from the emotions of the past, and it is masking you with a story. But understand that behind that story, behind that emotion, is true power. Because understand that emotions are energy in motion. It is the same energy that is manifesting itself in the form of love or anger or guilt or ecstasy, joy. It's all the same. Understand that you have the power to convert that same emotion, fear-based emotion, into an elevated emotion of love, joy, or peace for yourself, and which can be manifested in different forms. You can manifest from that elevated state of being and create happiness and joy for everything and everyone around you. So understand that we are at a very crucial stage in the human evolution. So understand that the human ego is a defense mechanism of an animal, the human, and there is a dysfunctional element to it. It always creates separation, it always creates enemies. That's how we have wars, that's how there are countries and different cults and segments and everything. So as an individual, our responsibility is to evolve past this evolutionary phase, because it creates that sense of identity which justifies the destructive actions and any actions that is taken to protect that identity. So ego is programmed by the society, external society, beliefs, cultural, everything that you have gained over the course of life, and now your body becomes the body of the past, and it is the subconscious mind, and it is feeling those unconscious past emotions, and it is further driving the mind. And you are sound asleep somewhere. You are not even in the equation. Now it is your job to come back and regain that control. So yeah, this is what I had for you in this video. I want you to take something back from this video, and I urge you to initiate the inner work. Initiate in some way or form. Maybe you meditate or anything that causes you to separate yourself from your thoughts and emotions. That is the initiation. So yeah, the world does not need more egos. The world needs your presence. The world needs beautiful souls to come out and express themselves. They need to express their divinity, and which comes along with the elevated emotions of love, joy, happiness, and all those things. So yeah, it is take it up as a responsibility. The ability to respond. Responsibility means the ability to respond. Once there is responsibility, the possibility of taking action comes into the equation. Once you take responsibility for yourself, for your thoughts and emotions, then you can work with it. And once you have worked with it, then the possibility of taking responsibility for others around you arises. And then you can create a better life, a better society, a better reality for you and for everyone around you. So yeah, definitely I urge you to drop your egos, work with your egos, and start the dissolving process. I really want you to awaken from the dream of thought, from the dream of the ego, and yeah, let presence flow through you. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.